Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In case you hear some purring not too far away from the microphone, is a cat. That is Mango. So in case he starts moving around, or actually if Shy also joins, because apparently Shy is joining me right now. Alright, so I was gonna say, I have a slightly different format for today. I'm trying my best to make this make sense because there's not very many, high jump channels out there where they do weekly discussions. So it's not like I have a format that I'm able to go after or yeah. So what I would like is if you hit the like and subscribe, because clearly that's going to help me understand that people actually like this. So it's as I keep curating the content to hit better watchability, it would be nice to know I'm headed in the right direction. Alright, so to get started, there is no really weekly review. Last week was basically I wouldn't say perfect week, but I was back up to normal on every single one of my workouts. There was no real modifications going on. It's nice being healthy, which is kind of like my normal, so it's weird when it's not healthy. But instead of talking about all that stuff in any sort of detail, I wanted to switch over and talk to you about something else, because I've mentioned it on the channel before, but I have yet to actually show it to you and introduce you to it. So this is the High Jump app that I talked about a couple weeks ago. It's only available on iOS. Clearly I have a couple things I want to nail down a little bit before I start doing the Android side of things, but at the moment right now it's got a lot of content. Clearly you're gonna see an occasional spot that I might need to clean up, and okay, cool, but I am open to all criticism. So if you notice something, let me know, because when I create apps, I stare at it for a very long time, which means some super obvious things go unnoticed because I've stared at it too long. I don't notice it anymore. A lot of times whenever I look at words for way too long, now all of a sudden they look like they're not spelled correctly. It's just, I don't know, my brain, just how it works. Alright, so this little video is a little bit of an overview. It starts off by showing you a bit of the process. Actually, I'll start that again. I click the add to athlete and then the Evans approach map. This is the method that I've got on how to get there. This is open to anyone in terms of you don't have to pay for this part of the app, but you can only have I think one athlete this way. So there's a method here that you have to follow, and then you put the name in, which I don't know why it didn't shift up, but then you put the marks that they achieve on that method. You hit the save button, you select the athlete on the list to view the athlete, and then it's going to show you the out marks from the pit and then the back marks. So you'll get a tape measure and mark those, but I'm left-footed, so I hit the change foot orientation button, and then there are my marks, or at least the marks for that particular athlete. So there's many other things on this app, including a bunch of videos. So it's once you get that spot, a lot of athletes are how in the world do you actually make this spot work in real life? So I tried to add some videos to explain, how, what do these marks look like from that page. Then also this one is a discussion of how do you even run an approach, right? There's some other videos too of drills to make those spots go from a random spot to your own spot. I really enjoyed making all these videos. It took me a long time to do it, but then once I had it, I had a lot of fun making them. So here's the drills section, and as you can see, there's a lot of different drills. Each one of those is an entire section that might have 4 drills, might have 6 drills. And then the topics are actually my discussion of how you go from putting your foot down on the ground to landing in the pit. I think I even took a moment to view one of them. Yeah, so it's I used props and stuff in order to discuss what are you doing here? How does the physics make sense? There's also a resource section. The conversion chart, I've heard a lot of details on that, on how people love that conversion chart. And so after that conversion chart and the other resources, I've put some beginner, which is like some fun high jump videos, some intermediate, which is where they start to get into drills and discussions of technique, and then the expert level, which is like Jesus de Pina in particular. Like that was his thesis. That was like all the things that he studies as a biomechanist. But yeah, I think in this part of the video, just going over all the big topics, which include the approach maps, the drills, the technique, and then some of the extra resources. Some of the things I still want to add include error corrections. So errors and what you need to do to correct them, I guess. There's some other like little finer details too that I want to clean up. So it's not fully there yet. Like I still have things I want to do to it, but as it stands, it's a really all-encompassing app that pretty much anyone can take and use and benefit a lot from, especially all of those high school and middle schoolers that do not have high jump coaches and do not know what they're doing. So I'm very, very, very hopeful to make it to where this app is a bit of a standalone, in that you can take someone in middle school or high school and now all of a sudden they know what they should be doing in this event. But I've also put it from the coach's perspective too, that, you know, they can add athletes, and then, you know, a lot of coaches might not be the most physically fit. So a coach can take the app, go to one of the drills and be like, this is what I want you to do, hit the play button to then show the athlete, this is what I want you to do. And it's all in one spot. So that way you're not having to go to YouTube for that one. You go to your internet browser to find another one. So I'm just trying to make it easier for everyone to know more about high jump, making a central location for that education. Because I was in high school and had no high jump coach, didn't know what I was doing. I did clear 5'9" in high school one time. My normal consistent mark was closer to maybe 5'4" when I was a senior. But then when I went to college, I had a high jump coach, and all of a sudden I knew what I was doing, and that consistent mark of 5'4" jumped up to like 5'6", 5'7" my freshman year, and then was like 5'11" by the time I was a senior, and my PR was over 6 foot. So education is very key in this event. So I'm trying my hardest to make something to be helpful for other people to also achieve what they want to by making an education point for it. Okay, so now that we're through that, I do plan on bringing up more topics from this app in future videos. For example, actually like showing you what the process is to add an athlete and put these things together, because I have been actually working with someone recently that I did that with, and almost every single time, I would say at like a 99% rate, I can get someone's spot within 1 foot of where they need to be. And it's crazy how well that works, but outside of me being a professional high jumper and an app developer, I also have, one of those, I have 4 college degrees, all in the STEM field. One of them is just a straight math degree. So I did a bunch of calculus and differential equations in order to create all those very fun approach mapping things. So they're all mathematically things that make sense, which is why human bodies are so easy to adapt to it, because it gives you the right angle and everything. It's like so nice. But I'll probably do that maybe in a week or 2. So look forward to that. But anyway, back to the competition. It was an hour 15 whenever I first started in the competition. I waived my re-warm-up thing because I came in at 165, and as of late I've been feeling very confident. So I didn't feel like I needed a warm-up bar, because the 165 was basically a warm-up bar. And so with it, honestly, I hit really well on the ground. It felt so low to me that I didn't have to do much to get over. Nothing special. When I was through it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. That was a good warm-up bar. I'm ready for the next one. So this is 170. And again, I was like, okay, so this is feeling really good. This is about where I would probably want to start the meet, but again, an hour 15 in, I wanted to have a confidence bar. I liked how well I was hitting the ground. I had a good sense for that push. It's like once I hit the ground, it's like that lengthening, that push out of the leg. I had a really good feel for that today, or I guess yesterday, because, well, anyway. And off that push, like I felt like I was doing a really good job with holding and being patient a lot of times, right? Like that's a decent angle. But yeah, I felt like I was. As we go in, this should be 175. Oh, that was a clearance. I know the bar bounced a little bit towards the end, but I'm pretty sure that was a clearance. And it's like, you see how well driven I am through the curve? There's not a big outward step, at least not on this one, so had it in the right direction there. My arm is going up. It's still a little early compared to where I want it to be, but it's obviously not the worst in the world. So then, yeah, that knee drive, it did a decent job on that one. It let go a little early, reached down, and you see I'm hitting it with my butt. And when I'm over the bar, it's like I do have my shoulders down a little bit compared to my hips, but not that much. All right, so then, let's see. Yeah, this would be 178. This is my first stint at 178. And like, as you can tell, like I still have a decent approach. I got a decent run. All of these steps are decently filled. I'm not stepping out too much on step 9. There's a little bit, but not that much. When I'm putting my foot down, my arm is, yeah, it's not above my head yet. So that's better. It still needs to be better, but it's definitely better than it was. Kick the leg out. You see, like, I mean, yeah, my shoulders are a little lower than my hips, but not by much. And this is the moment whenever coach is saying, you need to be patient. So I'm like, okay, I need to be patient. So, yeah, it didn't turn out on the next jump. I was trying my hardest to be patient in the air, that I felt like I was being anxious on the ground. So it's like, I know it's hard to see, but I felt like all of these steps were a little quicker. And it's like, I think this is a little farther. Oh, Mango's ready to move. I don't know where he's moving, but anyway, I felt like those steps were quicker, and I feel like this is a little farther away. We'll see on maybe the next jump. But I tried to be more patient, and it's like, I really don't think I got it on that one. But let's see, this one. All right, so again, this one, be patient. That was what I needed. I needed to be a little more patient in the run and on the jump. So a moment ago, I was telling you that I was a little farther out than this, right? The other one, I feel like it was like more over here. It's like I was patient on the run, right? I didn't quicken the steps too much. I was very aggressive on the run and everything. Followed through with some good power on it. And then the other part too is like I was patient. You see, got a straight line here, excellent knee drive. The arm is going up and everything, right? We get up here, and it's like, this is a 510 bar, and I still have a lot of space, and I was patient. Like, look at where my shoulders are compared to my hips on this one. Like, I actually waited in the air, left my hips up, and then that way I was able to get over easy and clean. So this is 181, because once you're actually patient and you got the timing right, it kind of opens up another little window. So this is 181, that's 5'11 and a quarter. I felt great on the run. Again, I'm like starting to crowd that white line. Well, I guess not starting to crowd it. I'm closer. Again, compared to the other one, I was super anxious and was back here. This one, it's like, again, I was attacking well. I had the mark. I got the takeoff spot. The arm is, again, not over my head, so that's good. great line straight from the, well, I mean, I guess it's one after, but like still a decent line from the shoulder to the hip. Up and over with, just you see that excellent knee drive? It's like it doesn't kick out so much. Like it's still got a decent bend. And like this is 5'11", and it's like my hips are way up here. So it's like I might not be the most perfectly timed in the world in terms of like, I feel like my peak is a little before the bar, but regardless of that, I was patient. And you see my shoulders, how low they are compared to my hips. It's because, again, I actually waited. This is the kind of jumps that I'm a little more used to, is the kind where I go basically completely upside down, land on the back of my neck, and fall over. All right, so next bar was 184. And these, I remember this one to have a really weird foot plant. It was like too heel heavy or something, so it's like I didn't like it. But then in watching it with Gartland right after I did it, he's like, you still had plenty of height. Like, you still had a lot of height off of a really bad plant foot. And I was like, well, that's great, but I did not think I looked that good at that bar. So this one, second attempt, I felt better about a lot of things, including the foot, the drive, the everything. And it's like, I'm like right there. I feel like I hit it just a little early with my back. It's bouncing. I think I hit it. Actually, yeah, I think it's mainly just because I hit it with my shoulders. I mean, the butt probably didn't help, but it kind of looks like it was already off by that time. And knees, hips, shoulders, straight angled down. Well, not completely down, but it's just, you don't really have to get a back bend is what I'm trying to say. There's no like tummy out in this situation. All right, let's see. I think this is yeah. All right, so already by this time it was 165, 170, 175, 178, 181, 184. So this was my 10th jump of the day. So I'm just very happy that I had that many in me. I know earlier I was talking about stamina, and it's like, yeah, at the beginning of the season, you don't always get a lot of jumps. By the end of the season, you can usually handle a little more. There is a little bit more of an aggressive step out on this one. I am a little further away than what I was earlier. I probably was trying a little hard in the approach, maybe going a little too fast on the cycle throughs of the steps. But I mean, a decent shoulder, hip, foot, toe even, yeah, everything is right aligned. A little out, so it's like I probably had to reach. I mean, it's great height, but I'm hitting it with my shoulders on the kind of on the way up. It's like, think of what would happen if my whole body was shifted over the bar about 1 or 2 more inches. I wouldn't have hit it so hard with my shoulders. So I gotta be powerful out of the back, but it's like, how far can you really scoot forward? All right. So I had a great time at the competition, mainly because I was surrounded by my own teammates. I'm at my home facility. My coach was there. My parents were there. I had just a great time for so many things, and there was a little bit of adversity with how the event was run. Sure, you're going to have stuff like that, but it's not always... You can't let that affect your actual, like, the reason you're there. So even though there's all this stuff going on around me, I got to do what I'm here for. And I'm here to jump really high because that's what I love to do. So there's multiple times where I just had to take a breath and move on. Okay, so the 178 bar, let's see, it would have been right about here. This is the jump that I finally qualified for the USA meet on. And 1, 2, 3, this. And then the thing was I then cleared the next bar. So it's like I'm not just barely qualified for the USAs anymore. I think I'm 5th or 6th out of 8 and that is next weekend. So right after I competed, I brought my computer to the meet. So right after I competed, I went online to my USA entry in order to update my mark, because beforehand I was not qualified, so I was not accepted in the meet. So I'm going through saving my mark in there, and I get to the end of the process and the save button is grayed out. Like, I am well within the window of qualification, and all of a sudden my excitement goes to frantic. So already there's all these things going on, and then that happens too. So I start like emailing around, hey guys, USATF, this and that, and I did get an email back, and it was surprisingly quick. I was very excited and happy that it was very quick on the response back. They updated my mark for me, switched me from not accepted to accepted, qualified, and accepted. And one of the main things was I wanted to have that done as soon as possible because I need to buy flights. I didn't want to have to wait till Monday or Tuesday to finally get someone on the phone to get that fixed, to then buy a flight, because I didn't want to buy a flight if I couldn't get in the meet. Why would I be buying flights? But anyway, they were quick about it. I bought my flights. I am all ready. I'm all prepared. I'm all excited to go back to the USA's. I actually probably should have gone back for the count. I don't know how many times it's been for me to go to the USA's anymore. It's above 20. I started going in 2013 for outdoor season, and I've been to every single one of them since, except for the one or two that was canceled for the COVID timeframe. So it's like those don't count because no one got to go. Those were just completely canceled times. So it's like every single time in between 2013 outdoor and now I've gone, and I'm pretty sure this 181 also qualifies me for outdoor USA's as well. So it's like I'm fine. I can jump again without any extra pressure. And what's fun, especially for me, is that being that I am 34, it's kind of crazy that I'm still jumping at this level, that I'm able to get into these things and do this kind of stuff. I'm very fortunate and lucky to have had such a long and healthy career. I'm very happy that it's gone by as well as it has. I've loved pretty much every single moment of it, and it was a little scary. I don't think I was ready to let go of going to the USA's. It's just a fun experience for me. So I'm very happy to have turned it around on the very last day of qualifying. Very happy about that. But also next year, being that I should be, that's how age works, 35 next year, I'll start being in the age ranges to do World Athletics, not World Athletics, it's a USATF Masters competitions to then qualify for the Masters Championships at the world level. And I think Korea is the first one that I'll get to go to. And so that'll be another like fun little aspect that will happen for me too. And at the moment, I think at the heights that I'm jumping, I should be like the winner of my age bracket when it is that I start there. And I'm not talking about like a little bit, like I'm talking like, if I'm jumping like in the 180s, I think first place last year was jumping in the low 1.7s, and pretty much everyone after that was jumping in like the 1.6 to 1.5 kind of range. So we're talking like I would have to know height in order to not win in my age bracket next year. So anyway, I'm very excited about how this is all going. Very excited. Okay, so all right, again, we've had this little guy, by little I mean the 17.5-pound little guy, hanging out with us this whole session. He's been so nice. So next week is the USA meet. I am hopeful to put out a video for you guys, but it won't be until I come back, which will be early in the week rather than over the weekend, like what I've been doing. I'll get to talk to you about the whole experience, maybe even talk about fun little things that happened during that weekend. But whenever it is kind of the in-between indoor and outdoor season, it's a bit of like a weird off season where you kind of go back to full training. I have some other topics, other ideas to share with you guys. Rather than doing competition reviews, I have some ideas. So get excited, look forward to that. And thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really appreciate all the support. Bye, everyone.